The Medjay, called the people of the bow, known as the chosen, or the protectors of that which is most important. They were classified both as a tribal people, but also as a military force. And in literature, they are mentioned throughout Kemetic, Egyptian, Roman, and Arabic literature. And in modern mythology, the series of movies based on the mummy, as well as popular video games. They are known by many names, including the Blemmyes, which is their Mirotic name, and the Medjay, which is an Arabic name. Their origins were the eastern desert between the Nile and the Red Sea, in the land that is now called the Sudan. And the Medjay were a Nubian people. They were originally herdsmen and great warriors, and they became the Nubian Mercenaries and a version of the Special Police. The Medjay themselves were a semi-nomadic people whose homeland was in the eastern desert, ranging from Egypt to the Red Sea, and the Red Sea, of course, is a seawater inlet for the Indian Ocean, lying between what is Africa and what is now called Asia. They are mentioned in texts as early as 2400 BCE, when the Egyptian texts recorded them as warriors, serving with the Egyptian military. The Medjay, as a tribe of people, had been to some degree subjugated by Egypt and served in the kingdom in many various capacities, although notably as warriors. Later Egyptian texts also documented their presence as soldiers at the fortress built along the Nile in Nubia, and so highly touted for their military training and skill that the Medjay itself became a word synonymous with police or authority figures. Archaeologists equate the pan-grave burials with the Medjay civilization, and these were shallow, circular graves containing distinct black-top red bowls. They're named the pan-graves by archaeologists and generally thought to be the burials of the Medjay people. Pan-grave burials also include simple, rough-incised bowls. Pan-grave burials are scattered from the Third Cataract to Middle Egypt, and their distinct pottery is spread even further than that. The Medjay were reputed in the ancient wars for their extreme military competency. They were commonly hired as soldiers and guards by Kush and ancient Kemites, as well as the Romans who eventually came into what is now Egypt. And considered their exceptional skill for warfare, they were considered a constant threat for supremacy for the Kushites. They are widely mentioned in ancient sources. In Roman literature, they were known as the Blemmyes in the Mirotic language, and they were referred to as the Medjay in Arabic language. They were known as Bet Medjay, the name used by the early Kushite and Egyptian sources. In the 20th dynasty, the term Medjay is no longer found in any records, and it is unknown whether the Medjay as an occupation was abolished or the name of the forest was changed. However, there is speculation that a group of people called the Medjay, who fought against the Kush during the 5th and 4th centuries BCE, may have been related to or descendants from the Medjay. It is known that the Medjay controlled mining areas in the Sudan and regulated trout from the Red Sea all the way through the Nile. The appearance of their particular type of graves in the Nile Valley suggests that they represented an immigrant population. The presence of Nerita shells in many of the grave sites suggests that these occupants came from the eastern desert between the Nile and, of course, the Red Sea, where these people are identified closely with. Other objects commonly found in these graves include the painted skulls of various horned animals, which are found either arranged in a circle around the grave burial pit or placed in separate offerings. The tales of the Medjay still live on, as they are represented heavily in modern mythology, including the Mummy series of movies, as well as the popular video games, the Assassin's Creed. Among all the fighting forces in the world, it is the Medjay who carried the lore and the mantle of being among the greatest to ever exist.